Have you ever had your body just completely reject an opportunity that looked so good on paper and your mind is going like, yeah, this is so good, let's do it, and but your body is screaming no. Your body is going into survival mode, it's screaming no and it's saying no, unsafe territory. And then you feel confused. Is this my intuition guiding me and I should actually say no? Or am I self sabotaging? Because guess what? You are a self aware person. And that's why you also know that sometimes we actually self sabotage by saying no to something that's really good for us. But because we have all this fear of failure or fear of XYZ, whatever fears we just end up self sabotaging and we say no to something that is actually meant to be really good for us. So you get full on confused. Is this my intuition telling me to not go in this direction? And this is not good for me? Or am I just self sabotaging? If you have ever faced this, first of all, I completely see you. And in this video, I'm going to help you with that because it's not as complicated as it seems. Why is it not as complicated as it seems? Because I have had this experience just, I think, a few weeks or months ago. I don't know exactly. Few weeks or months ago, there was this opportunity that presented itself, and it looked really good. I really wanted to go ahead. I really wanted to do it. This was not exactly a career opportunity per se, but yeah, a little bit, not exactly career, but yeah, it was an opportunity. I don't want to tell what it was. So anyway, it looked really good. It felt like exactly what I was looking for. And I really wanted to go ahead from it with my mind. But the moment I pressed the button of submitting the application, my body just went into a fight flight mode. My body just started screaming no. And I started feeling anxiety in my chest. And I was like, wow, what is happening? And that's when I went down this spiral of, is this my intuition guiding me? And my body is rejecting it, which means my body obviously holds wisdom beyond my mind. So should I listen to it? Is it actually a no? Or am I just self sabotaging at this point because of whatever fears I have? Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of this, fear of that. We have 1,000 fears, right? We're humans. So I was like, is this my intuition or am I just self sabotaging at this point? What the heck is happening? But then, what made it really clear for me about what to do is coming back to myself and realizing just few simple things in life. Right now, this thing seems unsafe in my body. This opportunity, whatever it is, the moment I pressed submit, it felt unsafe. It felt weird. It felt like no, not okay. Like my body was like, no. Let's say, first case scenario, I listen to it and I end up saying no. What's the worst that can happen? This opportunity will go away. Then what's the worst that can happen if this opportunity goes away? I'll be sad, probably. And for a few months, maybe I will think that did I say no to the right thing? Okay, then what's gonna happen? Actually, you know what? Eventually, what's gonna happen? If this opportunity was really right for me, it's gonna come up again. And if it wasn't, then also I will know. Because right now, I cannot understand the logical reason from my mind for why I'm saying no, but I'm trusting just the feeling. So I can trust the feeling and I can go ahead and say no, and I can unpack the details later. Because that's the thing, right? Our body has wisdom beyond what our mind can fathom. And that's why we listen to our gut, we listen to our intuition. So, yeah, ultimately, when we draw the flow chart of what's gonna happen if I say no, initially it might be like, oh, did I self sabotage? Was it really not good? I'm not doing the right thing? Eventually, the right thing's gonna show up, which might be this, which might be some other thing. But as long as I'm staying true to myself, and I'm actually looking at my wounds and my shadows that are surfacing when I see this opportunity, the right one is always gonna come. I feel like that's a mistake that we humans make sometimes. We feel like when one thing is gone, it's like the end of the world. End of the world. This is what also happened with me when I left my medical career, which I was studying for all along 6 years, whatever. And then suddenly I left it because it was really just drawing all the life force and energy out of me, and I felt like a bloody zombie. But anyway, When I left that, I genuinely thought that my life was over. I really, really thought that my life was over. That's how we work sometimes, because in my mind I could not imagine what could I possibly do after this. In my mind the options were zero, but guess what? In my energetic field, the options were endless. There were so many innumerable options in my energetic field. But because my mind could not see it, I freaked out. And I thought this was the end of the world. I'm done for. This is over. My life is over. Because that's how our mind operates sometimes, when we cannot see the possibilities in our field. And when our mind is very restricted, when we're not even open to seeing more possibilities, even if we see those possibilities happening in other people's life, because it feels like, no, it can't happen for me, right? So I think that's one very big mistake we make. We feel like, if I say no now, my life is over. If I say no to this thing, oh, life is over. This one opportunity came, if I say no, life is over. No, life is not over. Life is really not over, especially if you're the kind of person who is very self aware and you do your work. You do your inner work, you do your outer work, you do all of it. Then life is not over. Life is not over if you say no to this one thing. Of course, when your body is saying no. I'm not saying just keep going around randomly saying no to everything, even when you think is the right thing. No, I'm talking about this particular scenario in which, let's say, your body suddenly reacted to something and it said no. Worst thing, if you say no, if you listen to your body, worst thing is not the end of the world. Even in the worst thing, eventually you're always gonna end up where you're supposed to end up. And this is one logic that I live and breathe by, because I have experienced this in my life various times, and sometimes in very impossible areas of life. How, even after me saying no initially, the thing came back, and no matter what, I was always led where I was supposed to, even if initially I said no to something, because my intuition was telling me to say no at that time. It can be various things, right? It can be the wrong thing for you and that's why your body is rejecting it. It can be the right thing but the wrong time. And sometimes also what I have seen happening is, when it's the right thing, wrong timing kind of a situation, the thing eventually again comes around in your life, but packaged in a much different way, which is much more suitable to you. Maybe through a pathway that is much more suitable to you. Why? Because you had the courage to say no when your body said no. So, yeah, first thing is that stop feeling paralyzed about whether this is okay or not okay, because you're maybe right now your mind is telling you that it's going to be the end of the world, but I promise you it's not going to be the end of the world. Listening to your intuition is not the end of the world. Listening to your intuition is not at all the end of the world. In fact, it's what you should be doing. And sometimes it does take courage. So that was the first case scenario. Now let's go to the second scenario. Let's say you are self sabotaging. This thing is actually truly good for you. But what you're doing right now is you're just self sabotaging. Because maybe you have a fear of failure or a fear of success or a fear of showing up or etc. running around in your energetic field. And this perfectly wonderful opportunity that has shown up for you, you end up saying no to it, even though it was great and it would have been great. So you are self sabotaging. So what's going to happen? Let's say you self sabotage. You thought it was your intuition and you really should say no, but in reality, it was just self sabotage. So you end up saying no anyway. What's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Because maybe you're thinking that in this case, it's going to lead to the worst case scenario, right? No, wrong. It's still not going to lead to the worst case scenario. It's still not going to be the end of the world. Because when you say no, you're going to be confronted with some of your shadows or some of your beliefs about this particular situation. And those are the things that your higher self and the universe wants you to look at right now. which is why this whole shenanigan happened. So when you say no, maybe some fears pop up. Okay? Look at those fears. Sit with those fears. Work with your shadows. Because that really is the purpose of why all of this thing happened. And when you do that, I promise you, you're always going to be led to the thing that is right for you. Because maybe the purpose right now of this thing popping up, this situation popping up, was for you to actually look at those shadows. So your higher self wants you to look at something, okay? Let's say there's one shadow of fear of, let's just go with fear of failure, because a lot of us have that. So right now your higher self wants you to look at your shadow and work with your shadow of fear of failing, okay? Fear of failure. So now your higher self has to bring in some kind of situation in your life through which you look at that fear, because it's not like you're just going to be sitting on your bed one day comfortably, you're reading your book or you're watching some serial or whatever you're doing, and suddenly you're going to be like, oh, I need to work on my fear of failure. No, that's not how it happens, right? It's usually triggered by some event. So that's why if your higher self really wants you to look at one shadow right now that's playing out in your life, your higher self will have to create a simulation, a 3D simulation through which it can be exposed, and then you can look at it and then you can work on it. Does that make sense? That's exactly why things happen when our shadows are revealed. Okay, your higher self literally just wants you to do some shadow work, so do it. Your higher self just probably wants you to sit with some difficult emotions, some difficult things, shadows, so that you can elevate to a higher level. So even in this situation, let's say you self-sabotage. Okay, what shows up? Fear of failure shows up. You sit with that, you work with that. Eventually, the opportunity that's right for you is going to come around. Ultimately, both of these situations, not at all the end of the world. You're always going to be led home no matter what. This is a principle I live by, and it always works. Trust me, it does. As long as you're coming from the purity of your heart, you're listening to your intuition, you will always be led home. You will always end up where you are meant to end up. In the perfect situations, in the perfect timings, maybe even better than what you're imagining. Most probably better than what you're imagining. So stop feeling so paralyzed about whether this is a yes or a no, whether this should be a yes or a no. Oh my god, am I self-sabotaging? This is intuition. Your body is saying something right now. Okay? Maybe your mind does not know why your body is saying this. Is this a signal? Is this intuition? Is this self-sabotage? So maybe your mind cannot understand what your body is saying right now, but if your body is saying something, listen to it right now. You can unpack the details later. If your body is reacting in a certain way, if your intuition is coming in a certain way, listen to it. You can unpack the details later. Because right now your mind is not understanding what your body is telling right now. That's because your body has the wisdom much more than your mind could ever carry. Listen to it, unpack the details later, and know that no matter what you do, no matter which direction you go, nothing is the end of the world. I can promise you that much. So let me know in the comments below, have you ever come across this situation where you were wondering, oh my god, is this intuition? Is this self-sabotage? What is happening? Am I saying no to a really wonderful opportunity? Am I just, oh, I'm such a mess in my mind? Has this ever happened with you? Because it has happened with me. And this is what I have noticed. So I'm sharing this from experience, that you will always be led home. You will always end up in a situation where you're meant to, which is for your highest good, as long as you're coming from the purity of your heart. So listen to your intuition if it's showing you something. Okay, so that's it for this video. Make sure to click on the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my upcoming videos. Till then, bye-bye, take care. Let me know in the comments below what resonated.